This is today's market update. U.S. stocks fell as investors digested three big themes at once. The first was the jobs market. The second was government pressure on AI. The third was the race to power AI with nuclear energy. On jobs, the message is softer but not weak. The labor market is no longer overheating. Job openings are still strong. Layoffs remain low, but the pace is slowing enough to keep the Federal Reserve in focus. That is why the market reacted carefully. If hiring cools too fast, growth can weaken. If it stays too strong, inflation pressure may stay alive. So investors are stuck between two risks at once. The bigger story is AI policy. The Trump administration is now asking U.S. AI firms to voluntarily submit their most powerful models for cybersecurity testing. At the same time, there is open talk about giving government a stake in major AI companies and sharing some of the gains more broadly. That is a huge signal. It means AI is no longer just a private growth story. It is becoming a strategic national issue. Markets hate uncertainty around ownership, regulation, and profit sharing. That is part of why investors turned cautious. If the state gets more involved, the whole AI valuation model becomes harder to price. Then there is the power problem. AI needs huge amounts of electricity. That is why the recent small modular reactor milestone matters. The U.S. is looking for stable, carbon-free power that can support data centers. SMRs may help solve that, but they also remind investors how expensive the AI build-out really is. So the market is seeing a contradiction. AI is still the future, but it is becoming more expensive, more political, and more energy-dependent. That can support long-term growth, but it can also hurt margins and delay returns. People are reacting in a few ways. Some are buying the energy and nuclear angle. Some are rotating out of expensive AI names, and some are simply waiting for clearer numbers on jobs, inflation, and policy. That is why the market sold off, not because the AI story is dead, but because the story is getting bigger, more regulated, and more costly. So the message today is simple. The jobs market is cooling but not collapsing. AI is being pulled closer to government oversight, and the power needed to run. The next wave of AI is forcing investors to think about nuclear, margins, and risk. Stay informed, stay cautious, and do not assume the AI trade will stay a private market story forever.